to Connersville Speaks, a monthly program here on TV3. And tonight we have three guests joining us. Closest to me is Rachel Jones. She's a student at CHS. In the middle is Ginger Scholl. She's a staff member of the Fayette County Senior Center. She's activities director. And on the far away is Frank Nutty, and he's director of the public transit system at the Senior Center here in Connersville. Welcome to all three of you.
Thank you, Fran.
Thank you.
Okay, first time, I guess, for all of you?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay. Rachel, you're, as we mentioned, a student at CHS, and what are you doing out there that's of interest to us?
Well, right now for our fall play, I'm student directing.
Okay. And what does that mean? You tell them where to go?
Quite, yes. Actually, I do actually direct. So our director, Terry Hornsby, gives this over to the students for his goal is to make a student-run program out of our theater program. And so he and our assistant director, Grace Barker, are there with me throughout the whole process, but I am the one that does the blocking and tells the actors how to do the scenes, really.
Sure. What's the play?
The play is called Anatomy of Grey.
I'm not familiar with it. Tell us about it.
It's written by an Indiana playwright called...
Okay.
And it's set in Indiana in the 1800s in a small farming community called Gray. And so in the play, Gray is a town with no doctor. And so after the death of her father, the main character, June, sits down and writes a letter to God asking him to send the town a healer. Then, in a huge hot air balloon crash, this man called Galen P. Gray is a doctor that crashes into the town. And at first people are kind of wary of him. And then once he starts healing everyone, they suddenly become great fans. Then all of a sudden an epidemic hits the town, and suddenly again they start blaming him.
Okay, sounds interesting. When is the play?
The play is November 12th, 13th, and 14th, which is a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night.
And how long has it been in preparation?
We did auditions at the end of September and started practice early in October, so.
Okay. So you're just getting underway, really?
Really, yes.
Okay, and how many will be in the play?
We have 9 acting roles, but 14 actors because we've decided to double cast the roles. So a different cast will be performing it for most of the roles in a matinee performance to give more of our students an opportunity to be in the program.
Sure. Sounds like a lot of fun. You enjoy it?
I do.
Okay, Rachel, thanks. Ginger, activities director at Fayette County Senior Center. I know you keep busy. Tell us about what's happening and what's going to happen.
Well, I think that part of our idealistic plan for the center is to be involved in the community, have the community be involved in the center. We currently have approximately 306 members, and we're seeking more members. Our membership entitles you to several different things. The cost is only $15 a year. I think what I have found is since we have started to become older, that there's a need for a different type of environment and activities than when we were younger. And what we have provided at the center, it's open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, and we have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have organized euchre games. Thursday and Friday, we have bingo, and actually we have bought a new bingo machine this year, and we have several people come to that, but we certainly would invite more. Some of the activities that we do each month and events that we plan evolve around different types of things. Like, for example, I've had several speakers come from the Indiana State House to speak about current issues that are involving seniors with Social Security and Medicare. We have speakers come from the hospital each month that provide a health topic of the month, and it usually runs around needs of seniors, items that seniors would be interested in as far as their current health and what they could expect on down the line, and how to recognize different signs in their friends that perhaps their friends would need help. We have several nursing facilities that come in. Some, they provide food. We have several free lunches from the nursing facilities in town, and also some in Richmond. We have free lunches from the hospital. As part of our plan is to be more involved with people that are currently in a situation where they may have a need of something that the hospital offers, or the nursing homes, or home health care. We have home health care people come in and talk to us about what they offer and what help they could be to some of our seniors. Our seniors are really very energetic. You know, they like to get involved in the different games and activities we have. Some of the activities that we do involve games. We have a big Halloween party coming up at the end of this month. There'll be games involved in that, complimentary lunch, and it'll be a costume contest. You don't have to be in costume to come, but to win our valuable prizes, you need to be in costume. And so that's one of the things that we have coming up just in the month of October. We have trips, a lot of trips scheduled for this year still and next year. I can talk more about the trips later. And but in November, we really have a really full schedule of activities that we'll be doing. One of them is a representative from the Indiana Attorney General will be coming to speak for us. One afternoon, we're having a Price is Right game. And some folks from Richmond are coming down to actually play the Price is Right game. And most everyone will win prizes that day. So some of our people are really looking forward to that, because that's something different that we haven't done in a while. We have trivia games. Each month, I put on trivia games for them that have questions, and they play as teams. And whoever gets the most right gets prizes. We also have a man coming down from Richmond this in November that he will be doing a trivia game. We're really excited about Thursday, November the 12th. We are hosting with the Fayette Regional Hospital a contest that we have named Senior Voice. And we have invited a lot of nursing facilities and around here and other towns, other senior centers to come. Each center will bring 5 folks that will participate in the talent show. And then there will be a meal provided after the show. So that's some of the things that we have coming up that I'm really excited about at the moment, Fran.
And TV3 going to be on hand on your
Our
talent show?
TV3 will be here for the Senior Voice.
Good.
That's a program that was designed with Tammy Dowd and myself, and we put this together, and it's going to be held at the center, and we're real excited about it.
Oh, it sounds like a lot of fun. Really does. Frank, you're in charge of the vehicles down there. How many vehicles do you have?
Right now we have 13. We just took possession of 4 new vehicles this year. 2 new large buses with 1,000-pound lifts, and then 2 minivans converted, but they're also wheelchair vans. As far as drivers, I got 8 dedicated, trained drivers, 2 dispatchers, and myself.
What kind of training do the drivers have to have?
Well, there's state certified training, such as wheelchair handling, securement, and then there's emergency evacuation that they have to have, if something was to happen on the van or bus. Also, they have to have a vehicle pre-check. That's the start of the day. It's about a 2-page pre-check, checking all fluids and brakes, tires, and all that, and that is mandatory.
Safety is a real important part of it.
Especially with the majority of our riders, which are seniors and special needs. But we are public transportation.
Okay, and
that's for anyone.
That means anybody can call you fellows and get a ride.
Right. As of 2002, a grant from Indiana Department of Transportation, we went public. Originally, it was just for the elderly and special needs to make it to the doctor's appointments, but now it's public transportation.
You do provide transportation for a lot of people with medical problems.
Yes. And again, special needs, but I don't want to forget the ordinary public, and again, the majority of seniors, we're their lifeline, their daily lifeline. to get to where they need to go, come to the center, out of town, whatever. As long as it's in state, we can take them.
And what are the charges?
We have two basic charges in town. It's for under 60, which is $2.50, and over 60, which is $2.
Will you go anywhere in the county to pick someone up?
Yes. Well, the city limits, according to our charter, actually extends within 3 miles of the
Okay.
city limits. So it'd still be the basic charge, but after that 3-mile limit, it does go to $5.
And do you go out of town very often, like to Indianapolis and to other cities?
Well, we go out of town daily.
I see.
As for example, today, I think we had 3 out of towns, one Indianapolis and 2 to two to Richmond.
Okay, and what are the charges for out of town?
Basic charge like Indianapolis is $60 round trip, Richmond's $25. And we have a chart and a pamphlet people can come down and pick up. The charges past that is per mile, and it's a formula. Again, it's a lot to get into right now, but a quick call to our dispatch at 825-1541. You can talk to the dispatcher, and he'll disclose after you tell us where you want to go or what the charge would be.
Can someone call you like a week ahead of time and reserve a time if they know they're going to?
Actually, we prefer that.
Okay.
In our pamphlet, it'll tell you for doctor's appointment, we really want you to get a hold of us 24 hours in advance. But setting on the radio myself, spotting the dispatchers, there's some that call a month in advance, which is fine with us because
Okay.
we can really plan that way.
Yes.
Each morning when our drivers come in, they have a schedule, and that schedule is made up from our daily trips to, say, dialysis, to AWS on the east side, but also the doctor trips that people have called, and it's in town and out of town.
I see.
In town, we basically can do it that day, but we still prefer so you'd be scheduled that you call beforehand, and so we can put you on the schedule, and then you're locked in.
Yes. Yes.
We do ask if you plan an out of county trip and it's canceled to contact us before the time and date of that trip, because see, we've called the driver in. Our out of town drivers are called in to make this trip. So if it's not canceled and we go to your house and you apologize and say that it was canceled, we do charge $10. It's called a no-show fee.
I see.
So to save that fee, you would just call in as soon as you find out, or if you have a date change. We try to accommodate as much as we can, but the earlier you can get to us and get locked in, the more assured your ride is going to be.
Approximately how many people do you provide transportation to on a yearly basis?
Well, as we talked earlier, daily it's we average over 100.
I see.
Out of town, the average, according to the latest stats, is 1.5. I'm not sure how that comes to be, but you could say two out of town trips a day is what we take. Now that trip may be Indianapolis, maybe Richmond, maybe Shelbyville. That's kind of our bread and butter. It's them out of town trips because most of those trips are paid by Medicaid.
I see.
If you are a Medicaid recipient, you need to definitely call us because you can, 99.9% of the time, Medicaid will not only pay for your doctor visit, it will pay for the transportation also.
It's good to know.
Yes.
It's good to know. We
Yes.
want the people to realize what kind of a service
Right.
you provide.
Right.
Yes.
I know I've talked, since I've been there is a perception out there of the old transportation, meaning you needed to be elderly or special needs, and not the general public. But since 2002, it's anyone, any age. We do ask it if we transport anyone that's young enough to be in booster seats or child restraints, that they need to be in those, and that individual, mother or father, uncle or aunt, they secure them in the vehicle. but we are public transportation.
So that means you take people to the shopping center, the north end of town?
Sure.
And
to the drugstores.
Okay.
We can take you to your friend's house, your mother's
Okay.
house, or bring your mother to your house.
Sure.
Or whatever it takes.
It's good to know, yeah, public is what we want the folks to understand.
Right,
It's,
right.
Anyone can ride Fayette County
Exactly.
public transit.
Exactly. Like, when I first came, I thought it was, just elderly and special
Sure.
needs. And I think that mentality and thought of transportation is out there. But as it says on the side of our vans, we're public transportation. I want to say that about 10 times.
That's okay. Rachel, one of my questions here is a play frequently breaks the fourth wall. What does that mean? Have you explained that? I'm not sure.
Well, see, the fourth wall is usually when a play is being performed, the actors are supposedly unaware of the audience. And so in our play, that fourth wall is often broken because the actors are narrating the action that's going on stage.
Okay. Sounds interesting. Is there a lot of sets to this play, or is it more or less just on a bare stage, or what?
Our play is actually really minimalistic because we do not actually have a set. So it does require a little bit more from our actors, and it is an interesting challenge that we're really happy to do.
Yeah. Who's the instructor of drama at CHS?
Terry Hornsby is the thespian
Okay.
troupe leader
Now,
for us.
does he make the selection of what show you'll do, or is it a combination of you guys getting together?
It's really just a combination. For Anatomy of Grey, our assistant director from last year has suggested it would be a good fit for us.
Okay.
But as for our spring play, we're doing Pride and Prejudice. That was actually a personal wish of mine to do since I was really little, so Terry accommodated me for that.
Have you seen this play anyplace?
I haven't, so this is
Okay.
my first experience with it too.
All right. So this is your first time as a director?
It is. I've been on stage numerous times and I've done other backstage roles, but it is my first time directing.
You have a lot of people behind the scenes that are needed in something like this?
We do. We have an extensive tech crew. I know we often say ourselves, if it wasn't for our tech crew, our actors would just be people standing on a bare stage.
Okay. I know. Have you been involved in any of the musicals or anything that the schools
Those
put
happened
on?
a bit before my time personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of before your time, you were at middle school, CHS. What goes on there? Do you have anything comparable to this?
At the middle school, we have the skit squad and the honor squad, which they do short scenes and plays, and they do a performance in the spring.
Okay. About how many students are in the drama club?
It really ranges for us. It's depending on schedules and stuff. A lot of the students that can't perform an acting role like to stay in tech crew or at least come to the performance to some way be involved.
How much time is devoted to practice?
We have practice 2 hours a week, 3 times a week for this production, so quite a bit.
Is that after school or during school?
It's after school.
Okay. So it's an extracurricular activity, as they say. Okay. Ginger, I know you have something on November 11th, Veterans Day, planned. What is the event?
Oh, on November the 11th, Wednesday, that's Veterans Day. And so we honor the veterans and celebrate with coffee and donuts served at the center at 8 a.m. that day. So any veteran that would like to stop down before the other festivities in town, please stop down between 8 and noon. And we'll have coffee and donuts, and you're welcome to sit and chat. And a lot of times the veterans will come, and then they sit and read you the wars that they've been in with each other, and they really enjoy the fellowship with each other that day before they go on to the luncheon that's provided by someone.
Sure.
And so that in itself is something that we give back to the veterans in our community.
That's very nice. I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah, I think so. I think they do. So several of them there last year, and we're expecting more this year.
Good. What else is coming up in November? Are you going out of town to is it like a beef and boards
Well,
place you go to, a dinner theater?
in November, actually what we do is we schedule trips through the Sandra Wills tour company, and she and I work together on trips that we plan and they take. And in November, they're going to La Comida Dinner Theater, which is in Springboro, Ohio, which is close to Dayton. And they'll take the bus trip over there. La Comida has an excellent buffet that they provide for the folks. So the bus trip, the buffet, and then on November the 6th this time, it's the Christmas story. So we'll be starting to celebrate the start of the Christmas season with this play that's produced at La Comedian. And so the bus trip, the buffet luncheon, and the play, the bus trip home, it's only a cost of $65. And if anyone's interested, please call me. The number at the center is 827-1511.
You've been doing this for a while. You've taken several.
Yeah, we've
trips over
taken
there,
several
haven't you?
trips.
Yes.
And what we do is, the lady who is the director at the senior center in Western Wayne, her name is Lorena. She and I have partnered with Sandra Wills, and so folks from different centers are going. That way, it's so much easier to fill up a bus when you're doing this in partnership with other folks. And it's worked out really well. They pick you up. The bus picks you up at the Golay Center in Cambridge and takes you to La Comida from there. Now, the Christmas story, I think, will really be done very well because they take pride in doing the traditional holiday events over there.
What kind of deadlines do you have for people to sign up?
Well, we'd like to know, surely by the end of October. It's on a first come, first served basis. There's 52 seats. So, and we also, we buy seats that are all on the ground level, so folks do not have to climb steps to get to the food or to their seating. And it works out well for seniors because then they don't have to climb steps.
Sure.
So then you can get in with walkers and wheelchairs also.
Yeah. You mentioned food. The senior center serves food, don't they?
Yes, we do.
That.
Area 9 is in partners with the senior center, and Area 9 has their own staff, and they run the kitchen within the senior center, and they provide lunch every day at 11:30 for a minimal cost. And also they run the Meals on Wheels program.
Sure.
And we serve probably 80 people a day on the Meals on Wheels program. And you do not have to be a senior to eat in the senior center. You do not have to be a senior to participate in the Meals on Wheels program. We have breakfast and lunch they provide. They provide frozen meals. They provide meals Monday through Friday. And on Friday, they provide frozen meals to get you through the weekend. So a lot of times people will be recovering from something or perhaps living alone and just simply don't want to cook much anymore. They are well-balanced meals, and it's a great way to help folks out when they're in need or have special needs.
Yes, yes. Frank, you said you had 8 vehicles. Do you have 8 vehicles on the streets at one time sometimes?
In peak hours, we have 7.
Oh, okay.
In town. And we may have 1 or 2 out of town.
Okay.
It's according to the schedule. I'd like to mention the scheduling again. Even if you want to go just through the local department store or the local drugstore, call us in advance. The day before. The earlier we can schedule you, the more that you can get your time. We have a 45-minute window. If you call at 8 o'clock in the morning and would like to go to the department store at 10 o'clock, we will give you a pickup at like 9:15. It gives us 45 minutes.
I see.
We're what you call a demand response service, and we try to respect that. And in other words, at what time you demand to go, that we can get you there.
Yes.
But it also calls that you be ready to go. We have some instances that they say want to go to CVS, at 10 o'clock. We show up at 9:30. They're not prepared to go. We have a 5-minute waiting period, and then we have to leave. Now, we will swing back around
I see.
and check on you later. It just puts our drivers behind, and each time that might happen, it put them further behind. We do have busy hours. Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are our dialysis days. We have some drivers come in before it's even 6 o'clock. We actually don't run until 7
Yes.
in the morning, but because of dialysis, we have one driver that comes in early, and we have like one driver stay late. Our hours of operation, which I don't think I really mentioned before, is 7 till 5, and that is for pickups. Now, we work till 6, but that's because of the cutoff at 5 o'clock for pickups. It gives us time to
Yes.
wherever you wanted to go, that we have time that you do your business, and then we pick you up, get you back to your home or Fountain Place, whatever it happens to be, and then get our drivers back to the center, and they do have some paperwork and get off at 6 o'clock.
You mentioned the Indiana Department of Transportation. They help in the vehicle purchase, don't they? Quite a bit?
Yes, they do. It's a grant match. I'm not sure of what the percent is, but with grants, if you're familiar with the grants, it's a win-win situation.
Yes.
We're very fortunate. In 14, we got one vehicle, and this year we've got 4 already, with one more that we're supposed to get. It's another minivan. And when that happens, we will be all wheelchair accessible. All our vehicles
Good.
will be.
Good.
As we stand now, according to the needs of the rider, it dictates what vehicle goes, and not all our vehicles are wheelchair compatible.
Because they have such an investment in the public transit throughout the state, I believe.
Right.
They're sort of looking over your shoulder. You're kind of responsible to them, aren't you?
Yes. Being grant slash federally funded, there is a lot of I's to dot
Yes.
and a lot of T's to cross.
Yes.
A lot of paperwork, but it's all for a good cause. It's for
Yes.
the need of the public.
And aren't you required every so often to go to a meeting that they conduct? Tell us about that.
Right. Actually, we just went about 2 weeks ago to an annual NDOT conference, and that was interesting. My first one that I went to, me starting just March this year, and you got to network with a lot of other transit supervisors and center directors on how they handle their situation or problems. There's not a lot of variance in the problems. Seems like we all kind of have
Sure.
the same type of problems, with cost of fuel and cost of manpower and stuff like that. But I met some interesting people up there, got a few ideas.
Good.
So it was interesting. They have one in the spring and one in the fall. And I did make it in the spring, but it was more guided towards the grant process,
Okay.
the purchasing of the vehicles, and how do you go about that. Again, it was all a learning process for me because, it's just starting in March. But again, it was interesting. And if you're familiar with grants, you have to jump a lot of hoops. And
Absolutely.
we do have Diane Wright as a grant writer. She's invaluable for her knowledge. And,
Yes.
I would say she's really the one responsible for the reason we've got.
She does a great job for the
Yes.
city and county
Yes. Yes.
and for you guys too.
Right.
So,
Right.
and they're very nice vehicles.
Yes.
Very nice.
The big buses are on 350 Ford frames and with an aftermarket box. The minivans, which again are wheelchair, they're Dodge Caravans.
Yes.
I think they're like the XLT, but they go to a Midwest company here in Indiana, and they get converted. They get low floors, the ramp, which is manual, but it's still wheelchair accessible. It has side running boards, so the trip hazard is eliminated. And they're sitting over there right now. We're waiting on the paperwork for the title and registration, and for radios to be mounted.
What's the passenger capacity of the small buses? How many people do they carry?
It determines if you are having a wheelchair.
I see.
If you put a wheelchair in, you have a limit of 2 other.
Okay.
If not 4.
Okay. Okay.
But
Interesting.
it doesn't, we will just pick up 1 wheelchair rider. Again, the schedule dictates. But we try to, the dispatcher, our main dispatcher, who is also a master driver, he's been there with us, Mike Judd, for about 9 years. He's real familiar with all the pickups, and he can literally schedule the east side of town to a driver, the south side of town, or maybe above the hill, town north for 1. Usually town north take 2 drivers because it's just a bigger area. But we'll do like a loop pickup, drop off, pickup, drop off. A lot of people want to go to the same place, so you might do 2 pickups and then 1 drop off.
Yes.
We're all radio communicated, and they communicate with us when they pick individuals up and when they drop them off. When they're free, they do a drop off and they're empty, and then they become available for the call in that comes daily. Which I'm not trying to discourage. We like the early schedule, but if you decide 10 o'clock in the morning you want to be at the department store at 2 o'clock, give us a call.
It's a good system. I think it's well operated, and I think we're
it's
very lucky to have such a service here in Connersville.
right. And we do need to get the word out. There's people come in, and some of our new people, they thought it was special needs and elderly.
Sure.
Like for everyone, they come down and pick up a pamphlet.
Okay,
It
that's
goes
good.
in depth. Chat with me or the dispatcher. Tell us your needs, and we'll do what we can to supply them needs.
I don't think we told the people where the senior center is located in town.
Oh, well, it's
477 Grand.
477. I don't know if it's South Grand or Grand,
It's
right across
north,
from
The
North
corner of
Grand.
5th Street
Right.
and Grand Avenue across from the train depot.
Right. Usually if you say across the train depot, people will say, oh, yeah.
Easy to find.
Yes.
Easy to find. A reminder to our viewers that you're watching Connersville Speaks, and tonight our guests are Rachel Jones of Connersville High School, the Drama Club, Ginger Scholl, who is Senior Center Activities Director, and Frank Nettie, who is Director of the Fayette County Transit. And our phone number is 825-3245 if you'd like to call and have a question or a comment for any of our guests. I know they'd be more than happy to talk to you viewers. Rachel, what's it like to watch your vision come to life on stage when you're a director?
I think I'll definitely say it's kind of an awe-inspiring event because I can see the process coming through my head, and then just to see the actors, a lot of whom are really my close friends, just take that and run with it. It's something I won't forget.
I'll bet not. So this is this your first one?
It is my first one.
First one. So what's taking you so long?
Really, I hadn't thought of having the opportunity. I really hadn't had it before, and Terry kind of presented that for us.
Okay. So I'm sure you've been in drama all through high school?
Oh yes, all through high school and both years of middle school.
Okay, so you're a real veteran here.
Yeah.
Would you like to be on the stage as an actor? You're always talking kind of behind the scenes, but what about your desire to be in front of the audience?
Actually, I have been in front of the audience a
have
lot.
you?
Yeah.
Okay. What plays were you in?
Quite a few. My first at CHS was Alice in Wonderland. It was a small minor role, and then that spring I had a good major role in Arsenic and Old Lace.
Okay.
Then
I like that story.
It is a really fun story. A sophomore year, of course, we had a play called Cyrano. It was an
Okay.
interesting French play there. And then for the spring of that year, I was in props behind the scenes there.
Okay.
And then, of course, last year was our first year with Terry Hornsby as our director. We did a night of scenes and monologues for our fall production, so I was in a couple of scenes there. And then, of course, for our spring play, we had Little Women. And I was Joe in Little Women, so it was my first lead role and really a great experience there.
Okay. Any other extracurricular activities that you're involved in?
Well, I am involved in 2 of the honor choirs at CHS.
Oh, good.
Which are as classes, but we do have a lot of extracurricular time spent in those. And then a couple of the academic teams.
Okay. You're on the honor roll.
I
Congratulations.
am, thank you.
heading for college, I suppose, after graduation in June?
I am. I've actually been recently accepted to the University of Indianapolis into their occupational therapy program there. So
Very good, very good. And your major, do you know yet?
I plan to major in occupational therapy and then a minor in music.
Oh, excellent. Sounds very good, very good. Any other actors in your family? Where do you get the acting bug? And
I really don't know. I know I was pretty shy as a kid, so it really surprised them all that I kind of came onto the stage.
how many kids are in the drama club? Did I ask you that?
It really kind of ranges for us. I know we are the thespian troupe, the CHS thespian troupe 760. And so we have our inducted members. So there are probably around 20 of them because we just reinstated the troupe a couple of years ago. And then, of course, our freshmen and sophomores for this year that are just new coming into the program. Once they complete 2 productions with us, then they will be inducted to the Thespian Society.
Okay, these youngsters, are they behind-the-scenes people in these plays, or do they get any experience?
We actually have several freshmen on stage this year and behind stage.
That's good. That's good. Well, I can tell you enjoy it because a lot of enthusiasm here and everything. Ginger, at the senior center, there's a important part of it called the thrift shop. Tell us about it.
Yes, that was my next topic. We have a thrift shop. It needs to be larger, but it's fairly good size, and we take donations. So anytime that you folks have anything that you'd like to donate to us, we take clothes, books, puzzles, household items, shoes, you name it. And in turn, with the ladies that work for us, we have approximately 30 to 40 volunteers that help us at the center. Without the volunteers, we wouldn't be able to run the center because we basically have 3 paid employees: Dave Ling, the executive director, Linda Lewis, the executive secretary, and myself. Everyone else that works at the center, besides transportation, are people volunteering their time. We do a banquet for them once a year, and it's sometimes hard to believe that many of these people have 1,300 hours that they have donated to the center. The thrift shop itself is ran by volunteers, and it is open from 9 to 3:30, Monday through Friday. And actually, we have very nice things in there. Anything that we have that is not nice, that is stained or torn or something, we actually dispose of. So everything in there is very nice, very good prices. Now and then we'll have sales. Everything is 25 cents for the clothing. And we're getting ready now to switch out and bringing in our winter clothes into the thrift shop and boxing up the summer clothes to bring out next year. So if you have anything that you'd like to donate, if you have a garage sale and you don't know what you're going to do with what you didn't sell, we'll be glad to take it and see if we can sell it. And all the money that's in the thrift shop helps to defray costs in the center.
Yeah, they bring in quite a bit of money, and
yes, they
as you
do.
say, it helps a great deal in the operation of the senior center. It really does. Senior center is hard to believe, but it's 40 years old, I believe now. Started in '75 with the building on Central Avenue.
Downtown.
Since 618 Central Avenue, next to the Lyric Theater. And then you got your new building when?
99.
Okay, and I think
It was dedicated in 1999.
Mr. and Mrs.
Huffmeyer.
Art Huffmeyer were instrumental
Yes,
in
they were. They were a
purchasing
large donator for them.
purchasing the land and then, or purchasing the house. It was a Greyhound bus terminal at one time, I believe, and a Lambert's Furniture
Lambert's
Store.
Furniture Store was there at one time.
Yes, yes.
And so the building itself, we utilize every square inch in it. And then the kitchen area, which is once again ran by Area 9. Area 9 is actually governed by Indiana University, so they have several different Area 9 locations throughout the state.
Richmond, I think, is one of them.
Yes, Richmond has one.
Yes. Are there other areas, other towns close by with senior centers, or are we sort of the exception?
Well, Richmond, Brookville, Rushville, Liberty, Cambridge City.
Okay.
Those are the ones I'm most immediately.
So it's quite common.
Yeah, we have a
okay.
meeting once a month at the Senior Center in Connersville with the different directors from those places and Area 9 folks. And so we're there to then we share information and ideas with each other and talk about how we can make things, better and more exciting, and how we can make the food better. And so it's, with new ideas of things, it's helped a lot to sort of just bat things off each other.
Sure, absolutely. You get a lot of ideas that way. You have recently started an art class, I believe.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Brenda Pruitt-Kunkel, she comes down and teaches painting. She is an excellent, accomplished professional painter, and she comes down and teaches painting to folks that'd like to sign up for it. She charges $15 for 2 hours. That also is the supplies. And the ladies have been having a great time, and you always have a finished product when you go home, and all the painting is just amazing to me. She tells us that's entry level painting, but everyone's painting always looks really, really nice when they're finished.
Yes. You're hoping to continue that program?
Yes, as long as Brenda would like to do it, we'll continue that program.
What other things do you have planned for us? Can you go into, you talked about the Christmas story program.
Well, we have several trips set up starting for 2016.
Okay.
One to St. Augustine, Jacksonville, Florida in February, Myrtle Beach and Charleston show trip in April, Mackinac Island and a tour of northern Michigan in June, the Mount Rushmore tour and the Black Hills of South Dakota in September, into September, and the Biltmore Estates in November. So if anyone is interested in hearing more about it, the cost, the days, the itinerary for the trips, please call us at the center, 827-1511.
What kind of experience did you bring to the Senior Center to be an activities director? Did you have previous experience?
Well, I was the director of catering at Earlham College for 15 years, and we planned a lot of events. And I worked with events coordinators at Earlham to plan events, and that's basically.
We're very fortunate to have you. I think you've done an excellent job at the Senior Center.
I've enjoyed it. It's been a challenge, but it's been fun, and I've met a lot of really nice people. And I think a lot of the folks down there are very friendly. They're open. They're wanting to have new and exciting things, and we never get too old to enjoy each other.
Well, I'm impressed with the emphasis that you put on health for the people, because
it's important that we give them the opportunity to listen to different health professionals and to be aware of some of the things that they need to know. And we have question and answer time, and if you need to talk to the health professional personally, we make that happen. And I think it's opened people's eyes a lot to what is available in Connersville.
Yes. Well, they often say there's nothing to do in Connersville, but there is a lot going on at the Senior Center.
Well, there's a lot going on down there, and actually there's a lot of things going on in Connersville. Tonight's the Hope Banquet.
Yes.
And, if you actually look in the newspaper of the schedule of events, there's quite a few things going on. Last weekend was the Altrusa chili cook-off, and that was well attended, and sometimes you have to look for things.
One time there's a great fundraising event for the Senior Center called the Ham and Bean Dinner, and I every so often hear someone talk about that. Do you think there's any chance of that ever being revived?
Well, that was something that I've talked with Linda Lewis about, and Dave and I have talked about, and it's a matter of we would need to find out a little bit. I would need to know a little history on who to talk to get the bean cookers.
Okay.
So to speak.
Frank, can you help us out on that?
I cook beans, but not in that quantity. I do want to tag on to what Ginger is saying about all the activities the thrift shop. If John Q. Public is out there saying that, I'd like the thrift shops, I'd like that activity sounds interesting, 825-1541, between 7 and 5, we'll bring you there and bring you home.
Okay, if someone wants to become a driver for you, what's the process? I know that every so often fellows retire and you need to replace them.
Right.
It's
I'm not saying usual application for a driver, meaning you'd have to obtain a public passenger chauffeur's license.
Okay.
The big hurdle, we went through 2 hiring processes since I've been there, is you do have to pass an NDOT physical.
I see.
And that has been like a stumbling stone. They seem to key on blood pressure, eyesight. You have to have 20/40 corrected. But it's not unachievable. I'm 63. I passed. I took the test. You do have to apply with a public passenger's chauffeur's license, $18. I went down, got a booklet, studied several days, went down, took the test, paid $18 and obtained it. And if you go through our hiring process and we don't hire you, you do have that if you wanted to go somewhere else. There is a good chance here in the near future we will be going through a hiring process. Keep an eye on your paper, and we will advertise for that.
So get us a safety issue. I mean, you want to be certain that the fellows are physically able to do the job.
Yes, doing elderly in general, certainly wheelchairs. We have some motorized wheelchairs, and you take a motorized wheelchair with someone in it, and you're talking loading on the ramp, unloading the ramp. You have tilting possibilities, fall possibilities. So the individual needs to be nimble, aware of the surroundings.
Sure.
and all that.
Sure. Ginger, tell us about the bingo and the euchre thing. I think that's kind of
The what, I'm sorry?
the euchre and the bingo games.
Oh, okay.
I think they're a lot
Monday,
of fun
Tuesday,
for the
and
folks.
Wednesday after lunch. Lunch is served at 11:30, and the euchre game starts at 1. And they put in a little bit of money, and as depending on after you played the game, you move to different tables, and these people have the best time. We'll probably have 20 to 30 people, and they're out there laughing and joking and playing cards and associating with each other, and they bring snacks in, and they just have a great time and a great fellowship. On Thursday and Friday is our bingo days, which start at 1 o'clock, and those people, we usually have around 50 folks participate in that, and they also put in a little bit of money, and some of the times the money comes back to the center. So it's a matter of they like to play, and if you're winning a dime, makes them happy. It's great.
Well, oftentimes the people are lucky enough to win kind of donate the money back to the center, I believe.
Yes, they do. We've had a lot of
nice.
people that donate money to the center.
Yes.
They donate supplies for the kitchen, cups, napkins, dishes, Tupperware type bowls. Our volunteers and the donations that we have from folks is what helps really to keep us going.
Yes. There's a room down there dedicated to fellows who like to play pool.
Yes, we have a room. It has 2 pool tables in it, regulation pool tables, and there is criteria to playing a pool game. First of all, you must be a member.
Okay. And
Now that's the only thing that you must be a member to do at the center. Everything else, folks can come in. Although we encourage membership, once that you become a member, we send out a newsletter every month that has all of our activities in it, all of the birthdays, the calendar for the center, the calendar for the food that we're going to be offering, and so we make our members aware of what's going on, and hopefully they will, partake in the activities that we're doing down there. And it seems really strange with winter coming on. actually we're busier in the fall, in the winter, than we are in the summer, because I think people do outside activities in the summer, and once it starts getting cooler like it is now, people start swarming in. And we'd like to invite other people to come down and join us, see what we do, take a tour, visit the thrift shop, and have Frank explain a little bit more about the transportation. You know, some morning you may get up, go outside and say, oh my gosh, I have a flat tire and I don't have time to change it. Or in my case, I wouldn't know how to change it. If you call Frank, he'll come and pick you up. He may not come and pick you up that second, but they'll come and they'll pick you up, take you to work, come back later, and take you home.
Sounds great. Tell us, once again, for people maybe have just joined us, some of the things you've got coming up. The Price is Right show you've got coming up.
Yeah, we have a Price is Right coming up in November.
Oh, okay.
Which actually, the folks will be playing the Price is Right game, which is similar to what we play on television.
Mm-hmm.
And we're giving prizes away for that game, and we'll probably have certainly enough, if not more than enough, prizes that everybody will win something that day. Then once again, on Wednesday, November the 11th, is our Veterans Day celebration, where the Senior Center will be offering complimentary coffee and donuts at 8 o'clock that morning and until noon. And so we're welcome to have the veterans come down and socialize with each other and have a little morning treat on us. Then, as I mentioned earlier, on Thursday, November the 12th, we're having what we call the Senior Voice at the center. And we're inviting folks from many different other facilities, nursing homes, and we'll be having a talent show. And they'll actually be doing their talent. It will be filmed by Channel 3, showed on the TV at a later date, and then the hospital will be furnishing a dinner after the program. So we're all real excited and looking forward to that. So, Fran, if you have any talent you would like to share with us. Yeah, hidden talent. Mine is very hidden.
Tell us about the costume show, the costume contest with...
Oh, yeah, for Halloween.
Yes,
we're doing a Halloween party. And it is, you can come in costume or you don't have to wear a Halloween costume. And we'll be giving out prizes, really nice prizes, for people who win the Halloween Best Dressed Costume Awards.
Okay.
And there'll be a meal associated with that, and that's actually provided by the Heritage House, and the gifts by them, and we're all looking forward to a great time, and already the folks down there are chatting about what costumes they're going to be, and it's really fun to listen to them try and top each other with the costume ideas they have.
Yeah, now that's an event that starts late morning, doesn't it, on that?
Yeah, it starts, we'll start with games at 11 o'clock, and we'll serve lunch at 11:30, and we'll continue with games and prizes for the contest of the best dressed
And that's
costumes for Halloween.
Thursday, October 29th, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Well, sounds good. I hope you have a good turnout.
I'm looking forward to it, and I think we will.
Okay. Frank, let's talk a little bit again about the transit. Should some folks just joined us, you can call you for a ride any time of...
Something we haven't mentioned is we're chartered as a door-to-door service. If you go to the local department store, local grocery store, our drivers will help you load grocery bags, and they will take it to your door. They are restricted not to go inside the residence, but they can help you load and unload. We do ask that within reason that if you do have something, as many bags that it takes up extra space, there's a possibility we might charge you for that space.
Okay.
So we do ask that if you do any shopping that you be conscious of that. But other than that, it's a win-win situation. We're a lifeline for a lot of individuals going to their doctors and to their drug stores and to their department stores, to their grocery stores.
Yes.
To the center. Many are the members are transit members also on a daily basis. Spacey the Bingo, Thursday and Friday. We dedicate a driver and sometimes two drivers to get them down to the center.
Okay.
And play some bingo. And of course, after bingo, we'll take you home.
And tell us what again are the charges, the rates?
The two main charges are $2.50 for folks under 60, $2 for folks over 60. We do have out-of-town rates. Give me a call. I'll give the dispatcher a call at 825-1541, and we'll go through them with you. We do run statewide.
A great service.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I believe it is.
Rachel, again, Anatomy of Grey is coming up at the Robert E. Wise Center for the Performing Arts.
Yes.
Is that the title of the auditorium?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, it's Anatomy of Grey, and it's again what days?
It is November 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Sorry.
And that's a Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. First time for a director.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll do very well and everything.
Thank you.
And again, we want to thank you for joining us tonight, and I want to congratulate you for being on the honor roll. And so I know that you're making excellent grades at CHS. What's your favorite subject?
I'd probably have to say psychology at this moment.
Okay. Are you a member of the college group, the students that are enrolled in the college?
Early college, high school, yes.
Yes. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. It's a very popular
Yes.
project at CHS. I know I talked to Michael Thompson, who is, I believe, one of the teachers that assist in that
Yes.
program. You might tell us a little bit about it. I mean, you can earn college credits, actually, can't you?
You can, yes. I know I have several myself through my biology and AP US history and my psychology class and a couple of others, where I am enrolled in college at the same time I'm enrolled in high school. So I get dual credit, high school credit and college credit, and those will transfer over to university.
Yes.
Yes.
So where you're going, they will accept what happens here at CHS.
Yes.
Very good. It saves some money
It does, yes.
and also saves you time in college, doesn't
It does, yes.
So it's a great program, and it's not
Yeah.
too many schools have it, I don't believe. I think we're one of the few that have that. I noticed the graduation in June. Seems like nearly a third of the kids stood up that they were involved in this college program.
I think it is a really good opportunity for us to have.
Yes.
Though.
Ginger, when you and I were in school, they didn't have that kind of thing.
No, they didn't.
So we're very fortunate to have that here at CHS, and it's been a great success and everything. So I hope that they can keep it up and all the youngsters can take advantage of it, because college is kind of an expensive deal, so this helps a great deal. You can almost get, a year in? Can you, Ray, can you almost get the first year of college?
It depends really on the credit hours.
I see.
Too. For me, a lot of my general ed classes for my prerequisites will be taken care of.
Very good.
Several of them, yeah.
Very good, very good. I want to thank you all tonight for joining us. Rachel Jones is a student director at CHS, member of the drama club. In the center is Ginger Scholl, who is activities director at the Fayette County Senior Center, doing an excellent job. Congratulations, Ginger. And Frank, you're doing a great job with the transit program, and so keep up the good work and keep hauling the people.
We will.
Thanks you for joining us here on tonight's version of Connersville Speaks. We'll be back with another edition of this program in November. Thank you. Good evening, everybody.